Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose, and today I have another knife review, and this is another classic. This is the Kershaw Skyline. Now, before people start wondering what the hell is on the blade, I'll tell you right now, I was in my buddy's wedding, and as a groomsman gift, he gave me the blade, or the pocket knife, with him and his wife Sarah's name on it and the wedding date. So it's a nice gift. I really appreciate it. And, it doesn't change the effectiveness of the knife in any way. Just lets me remind me that I was part of something special for somebody. So there you have it. So that being said, this is the Kershaw Skyline, one of Kershaw's most popular and beloved knives. And it's beloved and very popular amongst everyone, and a true classic. If you haven't heard of the Skyline, you must be living under a sock. Yes, a sock. But that being said, let's check it out, and I'll give you my 2 cents on it and let you know what I think of it. So the overall length of the Skyline is 7.375 inches. The blade length is 3.125 inches, and the blade thickness is 0.09 inches. The handle length is 4¼ inches long. The handle thickness is 0.4 inches thick, and the overall weight of this bad boy is 2.5 ounces. So sub 3 ounces, which is an awesome spot to be in. For any knife, especially for like an urban EDC, urban EDC. Because in my mind, an urban EDC is anything around 3 ounces or less. And a regular EDC, I try to carry nothing heavier than about 4 ounces. So there you have it. The only thing with the urban, it does have a decently long blade for the weight, and that is a really awesome feature. So we'll start talking about that. So speaking of the blade, it is a hollow grind drop point, though many people consider this to be a spear point. I guess technically it is a drop point knife. It is stone washed, and it has a plain edge. I don't know specifically if it comes in a combo edge with serrations or not, but I don't like serrations, so I wouldn't even be searching for one. But it is a plain edge. There is kind of a false swedge up here at the top just to give it some style. It has 2 pins in it that look like thumb studs, and many people think they are, but they're actually stop pins. And so that's the mechanism that, when it's deployed, stops it from folding all the way through and back into the handle. So it stops by hitting the handle scales and frame there. The other thing is, it is a flipper then. The opening mechanism is the flipper, which is really nice. It runs on bronze phosphorus washers, I believe. And people can verify that if they want to comment below. But either way, it has a buttery smooth opening, and the finger guard is actually the flipper and back. There is no jimping on it, and it's polished smooth, but because of the positioning and how it kind of comes out at 90 degrees from the handle, it's more than capable of just flipping. There is no spring assist or automatic action to it, so it is a manual flipper, and it's sweet. I just have to say, this knife has helped me out cutting bagels and bread and stuff, and when I need it. So it's really nice, and it's very smooth, and there's just something sweet about having a thin, light flipper knife like this that just makes it so fun, and the quality and build on it is just excellent. So the last thing about the blade, it is a kind of a better blade steel than most basic knives. A lot of us are used to OS 8 or 8CR13, but this is a Sandvik steel. This is 14C28N, which is a Swedish Sandvik steel, I believe, and it's awesome. It works really well, holds a good edge, and it works great for this knife. Moving into the handle is, once again, has a thin kind of unique profile to it. There's a huge finger cutout there that just locks your hand in there, and the handles are black G10, so with a kind of medium cloth style texturing to them that adds really good grip. The finger choil is also where you see the locking mechanism. It is a liner lock, and from this angle you can see the silver liner. It is a liner on one side though, and that helps cut down on the weight and keep it at that 2.5 ounce mark. So there's only a liner on the one side. You disengage the liner lock that it has jimping on it in that kind of finger choil, and it's easy to access and deploy just like that. When you look back to the back, there is a small lanyard hole for those of you who like lanyards, and the handle more or less tapers out and down. There is a kind of 1/3 backspacer to give it some frame and rigidity, and other than that, there is a pocket clip. I do like the color of this pocket clip. Some of the other variations have like a satin finish pocket clip or whatever, and I think that's just too flashy for this knife. So I like the kind of parkerized look to this pocket clip, and it's very effective. It's really nice. It's not too long, and it works well for this knife. Though many people who like this knife, the one thing that they wish was different was if it was a deep carry. And so there are some titanium deep carry pocket clips that you can buy afterwards through third-party, designers or whatever, and you can get a deep carry pocket clip for that. So if that's something that's important to you, you have an option for that. So it is a tip up, tip down, right side only knife. So for your lefties, I'm sorry, but you have the option of either doing tip up or tip down. And I think to keep a lower profile in the pocket, you'd want to carry it tip down, because tip up then just adds like another 1/4 inch sticking out of the pocket. So that being said, let's compare it to some other knives, and some of those other knives are the Spyderco Sage 5. Sweet blade, love it. Looks really nice and fantastic. We have, I don't even know. Let's pull out one of these. We have the Kershaw camber, and why the heck not? This is the Cold Steel Recon, or Cold Steel Code 4. So as you can see, blade length wise, it's just over 3 inches, and it's pretty comparable to the rest of these blades. Obviously the Cold Steel is the longest. Handle wise, because it tapers down, it does seem a little bit longer than it should be for the knife, but it's okay. And of course the Cold Steel is the longest. And then let's check the width. It is a very light knife, and it's a thinner blade as well, and that adds to the lightness. But as you can see, the stock on the Sage 5 is thicker, and the handle just seems to be a hair thicker or wider than the Skyline. And same thing for the camber. Love this knife. And for the Code 4, the blade stock is thicker, and the handle seems about the same. So this is a pretty thin handle for the Code 4 for having such a thick blade stock, but fantastic knife. So there you have it, folks. We only got one test left, and that is the ugly brown glove test. So right off the bat, the traction is definitely a nice touch on the G10. The flipper feels a little slick, so you really have to kind of guide your finger along the back of the handle till you hit that flipper. Flips out fine. Wish there was some jimping here though. It's pretty slick up top for the thumb, but the hand and finger and that choil locks it in pretty well. But I wish there was a little bit of jimping there. It was a little tight squeezing into that choil to get in there with the glove, but I can definitely access it and shut it. So, it passes. It's pretty good for what it is. So, passes the ugly brown glove test. I give it a probably about 75% again on this one. So, there you have it, guys. This is the Skyline. Check it out. Super awesome blade. Definitely something you want to have in your collection if you're a collector. If not, it's a very affordable one. It's around $50. And they have different variations in S30V and Damascus that range up to $100 or more. So, really good knife for the price. Thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you have one of these, or if you like them, just say you do, because I love hearing about that. You can click the eye in the upper right-hand corner for other links to my videos, and I'll see you outside.